Hey y'all, this is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth player analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch basketball. In this series, we're going to be looking over every single prospect in the upcoming NBA draft. Some of which you may know, however, there are going to be numerous hidden gems we explore in the coming weeks. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the French forward Tidjane Salaun. Let's start off and look at Salaun's strengths. The first of which is shooting, as 51.2% of his shot attempts are threes. He's definitely going to be a 4 that acts more as a perimeter player rather than someone who plays down low. His next strength is his cutting, where he averages 1.286 point per possessions on cuts. He's a very intelligent cutter, and when you combine that with his athleticism, it makes him a real threat. Finally, he has a really good size and a good build, which is why scouts feel as if they can develop a lot more of his offensive game. There are a lot of weaknesses to Salaun's game on the offensive end. The first of which is his ability to protect the basketball, where Salaun only has a 0.65 assist to turnover ratio. Next, he's extremely soft around the rim, and he finished in the 26th percentile in his league on layups. Next, Salaun really struggles attacking closeouts, and he only shoots 29% on twos in spot-up situations. Next, he really struggles to score in isolation, and he only has 0.7 points per possession on those attempts. Salaun has a relatively loose handle, and when you combine that with him not being able to get to his spots, he struggles. Finally, despite having a really big frame and a good size, he's almost rarely used as a screener, which causes a lot of concerns, and only 3.6% of his possessions involved him setting screens. While there are a lot of weaknesses with Salaun's game, he's extremely raw, and if you get him in the right program, he can work on these things. He is very much a project player. Now let's start off and watch Salaun in transition. On this possession, Salaun is going to run the floor hard and result in a lob dunk. As you see right here, he creates a lot of separation and uses his athleticism to get by his man. As the fast break is occurring, you can see the defender has a pretty big lead on him. However, Salaun has great strides and runs with pace. He's a very good athlete, and plays like this make that clear. On this next possession, we're actually going to see Salaun showcase a flash of being able to put the ball on the floor, which is really exciting. What I love to see here is he immediately gets the rebound, pushes ahead, and scores. While this is nothing uniquely special, it's good to see flashes of what he can do. Unfortunately, he has a really big tendency to settle in transition. There is absolutely zero reason why he needs to be shooting this shot. Just come on, right here, it's wide open. I know there's only 3 seconds, but we don't need to take this awkward floater. Additionally, his handle oftentimes is loose in transition, and it's unlike the earlier clip we saw. Right here, he just picks the ball up early. I don't know what he was trying to do. Just make the simple pass right here. You don't need to jump in the air to throw either. It's just really awkward. On this next possession, it's more of the same from Salaun, and he showcases a relatively weak handle. He's trying to really read the defense, but once again, he picks the ball up early and completely telegraphs this pass. There's no reason to pick up the ball, and honestly, that pass was never open. We just need to have better eyes. Right here, Salaun gets the ball and attempts to go coast to coast. However, when he tries to make this probe dribble, he just completely loses control. On this next possession, let's watch Salaun and his ability to pop for 3. Right now, his team is going to do a DHO with almost like a Spain pick and roll / a roll and replace. So this DHO occurs right here, and Salaun can either set this back pick or just slip it and pop for 3. Right here, he pops and shows a really nice quick release to knock it down. You love to see it. Right here, it's going to be more the same from Salaun, where his team runs this Spain pick and roll action. This right here, this is something that's really common. Almost every team in the NBA runs it, and he showcases great work, popping, and knocking it down. I really love seeing a quick release from him, and it's just a good shot. Unfortunately for him, he still has a lot to work on in this pick and pop situation. He gets the ball. I honestly think if he was a little more ready to shoot, he has a look. But then when he drives, he settles, which is a really big issue for him. In my opinion, the mid-range shot is one of the worst in basketball, and when it's a contested fadeaway, it makes it that much worse. On this next possession, let's explore Salaun as a shooter. Right here, Salaun is going to come off of a dribble handoff and flow in to a nice three. The dribble handoff occurs here, he dribbles, and honestly, just great to see. On this next possession, Salaun doesn't make the three, however, he showcases a really nice read. As you see right here, this defender assumes that he's going into a dribble handoff and cheats it. Salaun says, okay, I'm only going to run half the distance and bump back. This is a really intelligent play, and while the three doesn't go in, I like to see it. Now let's move on and watch him as a cutter where he really thrives. On this possession, Salaun is going to have a backdoor / cut. As you see right here, 24 assumes that this dribble handoff is going to occur, and Salaun says, okay, get cooked, and has a nice, smooth finish. Salaun is also frequently used as a lob threat, and you're going to see this right here. His size and athleticism is really impressive, and it leads to plays like that. As you see, he comes from the corner, and this defender honestly just has no chance. This level of cutting is great to see from somebody, especially that's raw. This showcases that he has good instincts and is willing to move off the ball. Right here, he does a great job cutting through the lane and having a really nice finish. Unfortunately, one thing that he does tend to struggle on when it comes to cutting and just in general is being soft with the basketball. Right here, he has a great cut. However, there's just honestly a lack of touch for him. I honestly would prefer if he just dunked this and used a little bit of the explosiveness that he has, but we just need our touch to be better around the rim. It's missing these gimmies that is a big reason why he's only in the 26th percentile on his league when it comes to finishing around the rim. On this next possession, it's more of the same from Salaun, and he cuts without a real sense of physicality. He does a really good job getting into space. However, this is just tough to see. I love how he cuts slowly behind his man and is able to navigate. However, there's really no need to put the ball on the floor here. Just put it up, you're right near the rim, and then as soon as the defense comes over, it's pretty tough to watch. Now, let's enjoy Salaun coming off screens and just shooting threes in general. Right here, he does a really good job coming off of this down / a zipper screen, which is pretty much just right here through the middle, and he navigates it and then bumps out to the wing for a really clean looking jump shot. On this next possession, he's just going to be ready to shoot, and as this man drives right here, he draws the attention of Salaun's guy, and Salaun is ready. While this pass is not made, I think it would be one that the guard could make because Salaun is so open. The guard continues to drive, and Salaun says, okay, I'm just going to relocate, and then he relocates again and knocks it down. I love seeing all of this movement from Salaun off the ball. Even though he's a very raw player, he's always engaged, which you love to see. On this possession, Salaun continues to move and knocks down a really deep three, showcasing the range. These threes might look simple, but he's engaged and he has a really nice range and he has a quick release for someone of his size. Right here, he continues to slide, and just look at how he moves and is able to create space. This defender right here is occupied with this drive and thinks that if Salaun stays where he is, he can get back in time. But Salaun continues to move around the perimeter, creating more space and gets open. You love to see it. On this possession, Salaun continues to relocate, looking for the ball. He continuously moves and knocks it down. This three occurs in a roll and replace situation, as this screen occurs right here. Salaun is replacing the top of the key, and it's just a nice look. On this position, Salaun is going to be in the shake spot. For those of you who don't know, as this screen occurs right here, it is Salaun's job to lift to become open. He does a decent job lifting, although it's a bit late. However, the 3 doesn't fall. I'd like to see him lift earlier, and maybe he wouldn't be catching this off movement and would already be here. He also could have gotten the pass earlier had he lifted as the screen was occurring rather than a lifting later. On this possession, it's more moving for Salaun, however, he's not able to knock it down. I like seeing him move to the corner here, being aware off ball, and he has a quick release, it just doesn't fall. Now, let's watch him attack closeouts, which is an area of his game that could use work. On this possession, it's once again a roll and replace situation. He catches the ball, pump fakes, and has a nice sidestep 3. Looks really good. He also shows a flash of being able to attack closeouts and get downhill on this possession, where he's going to get the ball in the corner, rip through, and have a nice reverse finish. Unfortunately for him, most of his finishes are a lot more awkward when it comes to attacking closeouts. Salaun catches the ball right here and has a really nice job actually getting this guy in the air. However, the finish, it speaks for itself. It's really tough. Salaun really struggles when there's any kind of contact or big in the paint. He doesn't know what to do, and it becomes an issue for his game. Right here, he's going to catch the ball and attempt to attack the closeout. However, he picks the ball up early, is bothered by this gap right here, and turns it over. He potentially has a kick right here to number 77. Or if he was just stronger with the ball, there is a potential finish for himself. More of the same on this possession, where his ability to protect the basketball is put into question. He dribbles directly into the defense, he dribbles into this gap, and then attempts to maybe make this shuffle pass. However, he doesn't see it, and it's an issue. Now let's get into Salaun's game in isolation. And let's be warned, it is a bit of a struggle. On this possession, Salaun is going to catch the ball at the wing and face up with his man. However, you see the second contact occurs. He picks the ball up and attempts a really awkward floater. He really struggles dealing with any kind of contact. Right here, Salaun is going to catch the ball at the wing, try to drive, and once again, the second he has to deal with contact, he immediately picks up the basketball. That's a real problem, especially when you force an off-balance shot. You hate to see it. On this next possession, we're going to see another uncomfortable drive from Salaun in isolation. This is once again showcasing how raw he is as a player and how he really struggles to get by people. Right here, he puts the ball on the floor, picks it up early, and forces a tough floater. I think a lot of his drives would be improved if he simply kept his dribble alive, but because his handle is so loose, he frequently has to pick the ball up. Right here, he has a nice crossover. However, the finish is really awkward. He doesn't jump off of 2, and if you're going to try an acrobatic finish, as you see, he only has 1 foot on the ground here. If you get both of your feet under you, it's going to allow you to have much more balance. You also could potentially have a kick out here, but really, I think a lot could be improved if he simply played off of 2 feet. On this next possession, Salaun is going to attempt to have a stampede drive. What that means is it's when you run into the ball when you catch it. Ideally, you're going to run into the ball, keep your momentum, and blow by your defender. He runs into the ball here. However, his handle is simply too loose. A loose handle is a trend, and we're going to see once again more of it on this possession. Salaun is going to catch the ball in really good positioning, put the ball on the floor. However, there's just no bag here. He doesn't create any separation with either of these moves. And another issue is his dribbles don't really have a purpose. Like, watch this dribble right here. That dribble doesn't do anything, and then he loses the ball. Hate to see it. Let's finish off and watch some offensive rebounding from Salaun. These next 2 clips are just going to showcase what a high motor player he is. He never gives up on plays, and that's exciting. And as you see it right here, rebound and a tough finish. Great to see. On this next possession, it's more of the same. He's always engaged, and he gets a nice acrobatic finish. I don't think that there was nothing or something uniquely special about this, but I do think his willingness to always hustle and go for rebounds speaks to his abilities to put in work and further develop as a player. Now let's move on and discuss Salaun's strengths on the defensive end. The first of which, Salaun showcases a really good instincts and remaining vertical defensively. He does a really good job playing without fouling and keeping his hands up. Next, Salaun has a really good build with a great wingspan and size. That's really exciting and a big reason why scouts view him as a really talented project player. Thirdly, he has great off-ball awareness. Salaun is typically doing a really good job playing the MIG or being in the gaps. This is really great to see because it's exciting to look at a raw player that is still playing off-ball defense at a high level. Finally, he's a really solid driving line defender. Part of this is because of his length, and that's why opponents only score 0.75 points per possession in isolation against him. There are still some weaknesses to Salaun's game on the defensive end. The first of which is his footwork. Oftentimes, Salaun over-relies on his length, and sometimes it leads to him just getting beat because he hasn't necessarily developed the best footwork defensively. I think his driving line defense is good, but it could be great if he could improve his footwork. Next, he really struggles with physicality, and that's why opponents score 1.15 points per possession on post-ups against him. Finally, Salaun really struggles with having a low point of contact. What that means is when Salaun's man has the ball in the perimeter, Salaun will typically be a couple feet inside the arc. This is really bad because it allows guys to get shots over him, or it allows him to drive by Salaun, and Salaun will be backpedaling. I'd like to see Salaun get more into his man and be a defender that's being aggressive and active rather than being the reactionary defender, which he sometimes is in on-ball situations. Now let's get into the film and explore Salaun on the defensive end. Right here, Salaun is guarding the ball, being aggressive and swiping. As this dribble handoff occurs, Salaun stays on his man. However, when this screen occurs, Salaun is going to provide a hedge that turns into a switch. I love seeing Salaun here. He has active hands and is going for a steal. However, he does have happy feet and it leads to him getting beat. Let's watch his footwork again once he picks up the ball. As you see, it's jumping all over the place, which is showcasing a high motor. However, you can't do this all the time and it leads to him getting blown by. On this possession, we're going to see a little bit better driving line defense from Salaun. He's doing a good job in the MIG spot here, gets onto the ball, and does a good job staying in front of his man. And look at how he keeps his hands up right here, allowing for number 13 to come in and get a steal. In this possession, Salaun is going to be, once again, helping on this screen as this guy rolls. And then really good talk from Salaun as his team is going to run an X out. As this man switches and Salaun picks up his guy. Salaun gets up, slides his feet, and once again, look at that verticality. Really good stuff. On this next possession, we're going to see another good closeout from Salaun, which is exciting. He's once again in the right spot off ball, closes out, and look at that, just really good. And his length is clearly bothering the guy when he takes the mid-range shot. Unfortunately, his happy feet leads to him getting beat in some driving line situations. Right here, as he guards against a guard, he just has bad footwork and gets blown by. As you see, he's not really impacting it, he's stumbling, and just looks a little awkward. Luckily, the help side defense gives him protection. On this possession, it's more the same as he gets beat in a driving line situation. He looks engaged initially, however, he just completely turns around and he just gets cooked. Now let's watch Salaun in his really good off-ball defense. In this possession, Salaun is going to be playing the role of the MIG. What that means is he's the most important guy on the court. As this screen occurs right here, Salaun's job is to come in and be prepared to catch this roll man. This is because this defender right here is occupied with the ball. Salaun comes in, is aware, and gets a steal. Really good stuff. In this possession, Salaun is going to be in the gaps, which leads to him getting a steal. I like him being engaged right there, and then when this screen occurs, Salaun is ready and intercepts the pocket pass. It's this off-ball awareness which allows him to be really talented. On this next possession, he's once again going to be the MIG, where he comes in, catches the roll man. However, the point guard skips the ball, but Salaun comes back, has a really nice closeout, and uses his length to get a stop. Right here, it's going to be more the same with Salaun off ball, where he does a really good job being in the gaps and moving and showcasing his length. Right here, as this drive occurs, Salaun comes over and he's ready to deter the drive. Once the ball is passed out, his length allows him to get back for a nice contest. You love to see it. Maybe one could make the argument that Salaun is a bit late to the gaps. As you see, maybe you would want him to be here right now, but still, his length allows him to make the play. Now let's watch Salaun in the post. In this possession, Salaun gets beat for an offensive rebound, which turns into a post-up. However, Salaun does a really good job remaining vertical and using his chest to body up and play good defense. Really good stuff. Unfortunately, more often than not, his post defense leaves a little bit to be desired. Right here, Salaun is going to be out-muscled and simply gets beat on the play. I think for Salaun to be successful, I'd like him to put on some more weight and just be more physical at a more consistent level. I like the fact that he's competing here, he's trying to play defense with his chest. However, when he gets bumped, he simply gets pushed out. This is a really big issue for him and something that he definitely is going to have to work on. Right here, Salaun's man pushes in, completely seals him, and gets a nice dunk. I'd like to see Salaun have a little bit more competitiveness here and make this something harder to catch. However, he just gets buried. Now, let's finish off and watch a couple examples of what Salaun can improve on, which is his low point of contact when guarding the ball. As you see right here, he switches onto a guard and is initially engaged. However, when this guard gets the ball, Salaun is expecting a ghost screen, and if you watch his feet right here, he's not getting into the man. I'd like to see Salaun put a little bit more pressure and force the man to go to a direction, whether if you're icing the ball screen or simply just trying to navigate through it. When the screen doesn't occur, Salaun backpedals, opens up his foot, and gives up a three. On this possession, it's a much more glaring example of his point of contact issue. Right here, Salaun is going to switch onto a guard and initially be engaged. However, without the guard really making a move, we're going to watch Salaun as he simply just backpedals and ends up inside the arc and gives up a three. This issue of backpedaling is a big issue for him. The guard literally has not made a single move and has created separation. As you look, he starts off a little low and gives him about 2.5 feet, really for doing nothing. This is something that he's going to have to improve on if he wants to be a successful defender. Imagine if this is Jason Tatum, how often he's just going to bury threes right over him. Against NBA talent, he's going to get exposed for this kind of defense. Now, let's finish off and watch a couple examples of what Salaun can improve on, which is his low point of contact when guarding the ball. As you see right here, he switches onto a guard and is initially engaged. However, when this guard gets the ball, Salaun is expecting a ghost screen, and if you watch his feet right here, he's not getting into the man. I'd like to see Salaun put a little bit more pressure and force the man to go to a direction, whether if you're icing the ball screen or simply just trying to navigate through it. When the screen doesn't occur, Salaun backpedals, opens up his foot, and gives up a three. On this possession, it's a much more glaring example of his point of contact issue. Right here, Salaun is going to switch onto a guard and initially be engaged. However, without the guard really making a move, we're going to watch Salaun as he simply just backpedals and ends up inside the arc and gives up a three. This issue of backpedaling is a big issue for him. The guard literally has not made a single move and has created separation. As you look, he starts off a little low and gives him about 2.5 feet, really for doing nothing. This is something that he's going to have to improve on if he wants to be a successful defender. Imagine if this is Jason Tatum, how often he's just gonna bury threes right over him. Against NBA talent, he's going to get exposed for this kind of defense. Overall, I think that Tidjane Salaun is going to be a project player. However, I believe he's a project worth investing in. First of all, he's only going to be 18 years old by the time that he is drafted. That's really intriguing because he already shows flashes of a really high basketball IQ. Whether it's his cutting or off-ball defense, he's very clearly engaged and has a general idea of what he's doing. That being said, there's still a lot of fundamental issues he's going to have to improve on before he can be a real contributor in the NBA. The first of which is going to be his handle. You don't have to be Kyrie Irving to succeed. However, you do have to be able to protect the basketball and be able to do simple things like a stampede drive to attack a closeout. Additionally, I'd like to have seen more of Salaun as a passer. If you noticed in this video, not a single pass was included. Trust me, if he passed, I would have included it. He just doesn't do it often.
Lucas.
On the defensive end, I'd like him to work on his footwork and his point of contact in order to be successful. I think that he has a potential to be a really solid and maybe even a potential quality starter in the NBA. If he could potentially even develop into a 3, that would be really exciting because then he would have height and be able to be a real spot up 3 and D guy. However, more likely than not, he's going to be a 4 at the next level. Think of him like a variety of different guards, like maybe his ceiling could be like Michael Porter Jr. with defense. That would be really good to see, but that's like a 99th percentile outcome. I think a more likely outcome is he's going to be your 4th option offensively that provides good defense, can space the floor, and plays really hard. I think a floor for him is if he doesn't improve his defensive footwork and doesn't really get anything going as far as putting the ball on the floor. If that occurs, I think you're looking more at a spot-up guy that you put in off the bench and maybe gets 8 minutes a game that has like a 4 or 5 year career. I really like him, and I think at his age, he's really worth the investment. If you even have him kind of play a little bit of G League minutes, a little bit of NBA minutes this year, I don't think that it would take that long to develop him into somebody that can contribute on an NBA roster. I'd like to see him put on some more weight finally, but I think with an NBA level strength coach, that's something that should be really simple to occur. As far as where I would grade and pick him, I don't think he'll be a top 10 pick. However, I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. In my eyes, he's more of a late lottery to mid first round pick guy. I could see him going anywhere from like 12 or 13, and maybe if he doesn't interview well in the mock draft, like maybe if he doesn't do well in the final stages of combine and private workouts, maybe he falls to as low as 20, but I'd see him much more in the 13 range. Overall, that's my take, and thank you for taking time to watch another episode of The Rim Review.